the 10 oldest guns still in use today. Welcome back to Weapons Archive, where we bring forgotten firepower back into focus. Today, we're counting down the 10 oldest guns still in use today, from Cold War machines to six-shooters that refuse to be forgotten. These aren't just relics, they're survivors, and some are still seeing combat. And if you're into rare firepower, forgotten wars, and weapons that refuse to die, consider subscribing. This is Weapons Archive, and this countdown is just the beginning. So lock and load. Let's dive into the battlefield's most enduring legends. Number 10, FNFAL, designed in 1950. We begin with a Cold War icon, the FNFAL, developed in Belgium in 1950 and designed by the legendary Dudon Saif. The FAL quickly became the rifle of the Western world. It fires the 7.62 multiplied by 51 NATO round, a powerful cartridge with range, penetration, and stopping power. Nicknamed the right arm of the free world, this battle rifle became standard issue in over 90 countries, from South African Bush Wars to British operations in the Falklands, delivered lead and liberty for over half a century. Even today, countries like Argentina and India still field updated versions, and Belgium maintains thousands in reserve. It's heavy, rugged, and a bit of a bruiser, but in the right hands, the FAL is still a force to be reckoned with. Number 9. FN Mag, designed in 1950. Next, we meet the FNFAL's belt-fed brother, the FN Mag, also developed in 1950. This general-purpose machine gun is the definition of battlefield flexibility. It can be mounted on vehicles, helicopters, tripods, or just slung over a grunt's shoulder. It fires the same 7.62 NATO round as the FAL, but delivers it in fully automatic bursts, up to 650 rounds per minute. The mag is still standard issue in over 80 countries, including the UK as the L7 and the US as the M240. Whether it's frozen mud in Ukraine, desert winds in Iraq, or jungle humidity in Colombia, this gun just won't quit. Number 8. PPS H-41, designed in 1941. Number 8 is a Soviet submachine gun that redefined urban warfare. The PPS H-41, designed in the crucible of the Eastern Front. This cheap and deadly weapon was built to flood the battlefield with bullets. With a blazing rate of fire around 1,200 rounds per minute and a 71-round drum magazine, it turned Soviet conscripts into mobile suppressors. Over 6 million were made during World War II alone. It saw service from the Battle of Stalingrad to the jungles of Vietnam, and today, it still pops up in North Korea, Eastern Ukraine, and Middle Eastern insurgencies. It's loud, it's crude, and it still works, just the way Shpagin designed it. Number 7. Thompson SMG, designed in 1920. Coming in at 7 is the Thompson submachine gun, better known as the Tommy gun. Originally built for the trenches of World War I, it missed that war, but found a new battlefield on the streets of Prohibition-era America. Used by gangsters, cops, and eventually GIs, the Thompson became a symbol of brute firepower. Its 45 SCP rounds deliver massive stopping power at close range, and its construction, solid steel, walnut wood, feels more like a club than a rifle. Though no longer standard military issue, this relic still shows up in the hands of militias and paramilitaries. In 2022, footage emerged from Ukraine, a Tommy gun resting in the hands of a territorial defense fighter. 1 century later, the chopper's still chopping. Number 6. M2 Browning, designed in 1918. Designed by the great John Moses Browning, the M2 Modus is the ultimate heavy machine gun. It fires the 50 BMG round, each bullet longer than your hand, and capable of punching through vehicles, walls, and even low-flying aircraft. Originally used against World War II planes, it quickly evolved into the backbone of American firepower, mounted on everything from Jeeps to B-52 bombers. From Normandy to Fallujah, from Vietnam to Ukraine, it's still on the battlefield over century later. Reliable, deadly, and terrifyingly loud, the M2 doesn't just kill, it dominates. Number 5. Colt M1911, designed in 1911. Next is a sidearm with an arsenal longer than most rifles, the Colt M1911. Also the brainchild of John Browning. This pistol entered U.S. service in 1911, chambered in .45 ACP, a slow-moving, heavy-hitting round perfect for close quarters. It served in World War II, Korea, Vietnam, and even saw use in Afghanistan. Today, it's still carried by special operations units, police forces, and civilian shooters who trust its reliability. With over 100 years of continuous use, the 1911 is more than a gun. It's an American legend. Number 4. PMM 1910, designed in 1909. At number 4, we return to Russia with the PMM 1910 Maxim gun, a water-cooled machine gun mounted on wheels. It looks like something out of a museum. But in combat, it's a monster. Designed in 1909 and based on Hiram Maxim's original design, the M1910 can fire thousands of rounds without overheating, thanks to its signature water jacket cooling system. It's heavy, it's slow to move, but once it's set up, it holds the line like few weapons can. In 2014 and again in 2022, these guns reappeared on Ukrainian front lines, mounted on tripods, ready to bark again. Number 3. Madsen LMG, designed in 1902. Number 3 is the Madsen light machine gun, the oldest operational LMG on Earth. Built in Denmark in 1902, this weapon has seen action on every continent. Its top-mounted magazine, unique shape, and wide compatibility, chambering over 14 calibers, made it a global favorite. Used in 2 world wars, the Korean War and the Congo, the Madsen is still used by Brazilian police units in favelas and irregular fighters in Eastern Europe. The gun's age doesn't betray its function. It still fires like the day it left the factory. Number 2. Mosin Nagant, designed in 1891. The Mosin Nagant, born in Tsarist Russia in 1891, has served under monarchs, communists, and everything in between. It's a rifle that survived revolutions, civil wars, and world wars, and just kept firing. It gained mythical status thanks to Soviet snipers like Vasily Zaitsev, who wielded it with deadly precision during the brutal Battle of Stalingrad. He killed over 200 enemy soldiers using a scoped Mosin, earning fear and respect across the Eastern Front. Today, over 130 years later, you'll still find Mosins in trenches in eastern Ukraine. In Syria, rebel fighters duct tape modern optics to them. In Africa, warlords use them to train new recruits. Why? Because it's dirt cheap, rugged, and fires the still active 7, multiplied by 54 mmR, one of the oldest cartridges still in military service. It's heavy, clunky, but nearly indestructible. As long as wars are fought in muddy fields and frozen forests, the Mosin will probably be there. Number 1. Colt Single Action Army, designed in 1872. Our number 1 isn't just a firearm. It's a legend on 6 wheels. The Colt Single Action Army, made in 1872, was the official sidearm of the U.S. Army for decades. Known as the Peacemaker, it carved its name into history in the hands of cowboys, cavalrymen, and criminals alike. This is the gun that settled the West. It saw action in the Indian Wars, in border skirmishes with Pancho Villa, And believe it or not, even in the trenches of World War I, where officers still carried it by choice. In World War II, pilots and tank crews sometimes tucked it away as a last-ditch weapon. But the Colt instead didn't fade away after the war. It found new life in Hollywood, where John Wayne, Clint Eastwood, and countless others turned it into a silver screen icon. It became the face of American grit and independence. Even today, the Colt is still produced in its original form. Cowboy action shooters swear by it, not for efficiency, but for character. Is it still used in combat? No, but the fact that it's still being made, sold, and fired competitively after 150 years, that earns it the #1 spot. So what does it take for a gun to last 100 years? Durability, simplicity, and just a touch of genius. In an era of plastic polymers, electronic, optics, and AI targeting, it's incredible that some of the most reliable weapons today were made with wood, steel, and human intuition. These weapons have outlived regimes, survived battlefield after battlefield, and they're still firing, not by accident, but by design. Which one surprised you the most? Drop it in the comments. And if you enjoyed this countdown, like, subscribe, and ring the bell for more deep dives into the weapons that changed history. Until next time, stay locked and loaded.